Welcome everyone to Tasmania Valley Road. Please welcome onto the pitch the players and officials to today's game, the NPL Devonport City Strikers versus South Hobart Football Club.
Yep. Welcome one and all to Valley Road for this Football Tasmania NPL Round 7 fixture between the Devonport Strikers and South Hobart here in what is Female Football Week. It's the second of our doubleheader in the WSL. Devonport Strikers women were victorious 2-1 over South Hobart. In honour of Female Football Week, the Devonport Strikers players in the Women's Super League, the NPL and the under-21s are all bringing onto the pitch with them female who has had a significant impact on their life. And we can see the female presence in football here clearly represented as they stand with those significant female relationships that they have had.
Number 8, captain Kieran Mulroney. Number 10.
So it is a perfect afternoon here at Valley Road for this enormous Round 7 fixture. The top of the table, South Hobart in the third place. Devonport Strikers clash. 4 points adrift are the Devonport Strikers from the undefeated South Hobart. 5 victories and 1 draw. The Devonport Strikers with 4 victories and 2 losses. We'll run you quickly through the team. Tom Ballantyne's men. So with Noah Curtis returning in goals, Connor Park returning to the 11, Toby Barton, Curtis Jessica also returning to the 11, D'Agostino, Mulroney, Nomura, Innes, Bidwell, Last and Reynolds round out the 11 for the Devonport Strikers. Smith and Zazadny drop to the bench. Burley, Payne and Marshall also on the bench for Devonport Strikers for Max Clark's South Hobart. They have an unchanged 11 from last week's team that was victorious 3-0 over Riverside Olympic. Start with O'Connell in goals, Gorry, Kakubo, Lancaster, Berezanski, Kemp, Lakaseljic, Morton, Yost, Oates and Navainen in the 11. And then on the bench, Alex Walter returning to the bench, Eli Wright, Rex Maddock, Thomas Cordell and Alfred Hess. So a very big game in the shape of the season here. South Hobart can stretch to what will be a 7-point lead, only 1/3 of the way through the season on the Devonport Strikers. But a slip here today to South Hobart and a victory for the Strikers would close the gap to 1 point and see Launceston City the chance to draw level on points as they currently sit in second. At the moment, Devonport do have the best defensive record in the division, though, having only conceded 4 goals in the league, despite having conceded 9 goals in total across some of their most recent League Cup matches. South Hobart have conceded 6 goals in the league, but South Hobart the freest scoring of all teams, and they have a goal difference of 25 heading into this one. It is an enormous fixture here at Valley Road, and we are underway. These two teams only recently played out a thrilling 4-3 quarter final in the Lakaseljic Cup, in which South Hobart were victorious. South Hobart looking to repeat the dose today. That one was down in Hobart. This time the Devonport Strikers at home. Some mixed results for the Devonport Strikers this season, with losses to the Kingborough Lions and the Glenorchy Knights, which is here at home. By earlier start, Kokubo, only as far as Bidwell. Gorry, formerly of this parish, fires into Morton, who miscues his attempt to flick around the corner, the captain. And then Devonport Strikers Toby Barton to take the throw. He comes up the line towards the Japanese import Yuta Nomura. Tied it up. Brady last. The Devonport Strikers taking the throw in. Bidwell and Nomura offering feet. Nomura back to last. Barton into Nomura, a flick to Bidwell, who drives into the box, an early chance to Devonport Strikers towards the back post, and D'Agostino has given the Devonport Strikers an early lead at Valley Road. A terrific piece of play on the edge of the box from Nomura, who flicked it to Bidwell, whose left-footed drive to the back post saw D'Agostino best placed, and already inside that first minute of this fixture, the Devonport Strikers take a lead, which could get their season back on track. And they say early goals make for great games. And if that early goal is any sign of what we can expect, then we can expect an outstanding fixture. As I said, 7 goals between these two teams, only as recent as a couple of weeks ago. Plenty of promise for the fans here at the ground, and plenty of promise for the fans at home that we might have an action-packed occasion at Valley Road today. Mulroney jumping in on Morton. No foul there. Gorry tackled by Bidwell. Ball spread there for South Hobart. Out towards Yost. As 2 players go flying into the fence, and a throw-in or a foul on Yost? No, a throw-in for South Hobart. Throw to Kemp. Look to switch play through Lancaster. His left-footed pass cut out by Last. Oates backtracking all the way back to O'Connell, and then Kokubo. He has Havainen. Chooses to switch the ball again. And just continuing to roll the ball forward, potentially draw a press. The Devonport Strikers not deciding to press the keeper. happy to set up in a kind of mid-block and allow South to bring it forward. Eventually O'Connell goes long. The run from Yost, headed towards Yost. From Havainen. Tripped over the top then. A grab on Havainen from Sturzica, no whistle. Havainen goes to cut inside. Bidwell there though, spins away from Havainen, and then he goes very, very direct towards Nomura, but always favoured O'Connell on that occasion. Like a Seljak. To Lancaster. And once again the Devonport Strikers deciding not to press South out of defence. Ball into the feet there then, now with Morton. And out of play. Toby Barton with the throw-in. Long up the line from Barton. Bidwell and Gorry wrestle. And Gorry clears away. And it's gone across the fence. It's going to take some fetching from the match manager. Barton fires the throw into Nomura. Japanese import out of play. Nomura and Bidwell on the score week for the Devonport Strikers last week as they counted for the Clarence Zebras 2-0. South Hobart 3-0 victors over the Riverside Olympic. Oates, Kemp and Morton on the score sheet for them. Park fires that out to Bidwell, who's getting forward early. And a deflection off Oates and Bidwell. O'Connell across. Bidwell thumps into O'Connell. And some remonstrations from the South Hobart players. Very physical from Bidwell. O'Connell flat in his back. South Hobart players remonstrating angrily with the official here early. And certainly a fractious start to this one as their tempers have flared. Reflective of what's at stake in today's game. South Hobart know what a victory today at Valley Road would mean for what has been an excellent start to their season, undefeated. So South Hobart hadn't conceded in their last 3 games, which are 10-0 victory to Launceston United, 8-0 victory over the Clarence Zebras and 3-0 over Riverside. And they conceded their first goal in 3 league games. In terms of football in Tasmania over the last decade, there are no teams more decorated than these two in the NPL. Since the inception of the NPL, since the State League began again afresh in Tasmanian football, South Hobart been victorious 3 times in that State League, and the Devonport Strikers 6 times. As I said, no teams more decorated than these two. They know what it takes. Last season it came right down to the wire between these two sides and the Glenorchy Knights, with the Glenorchy Knights proving victorious on the last day of the season. An intense start early here at Valley Road. Kemp and Mulroney battle, and it's deemed a push by Kemp on Mulroney. Mulroney, the captain and veteran for the Devonport Strikers. He leaves it in the end for Curtis. And it's very long from Curtis. Bidwell to jump with Gorry. Gorry wins out there. Innes, the American import, he's grabbed by Kemp. He fires his pass out to Sturzica, overlapping. Sturzica on the left foot to the top of the box to Innes. It bounces off his knee. Cleared by Kokubo. Park traps it down to Mulroney. Plays inside to Reynolds, who has played for South Hobart as well. Started here in Tasmania with the Devonport Strikers and moved to play for South Hobart, now back to the Devonport Strikers. Adam Gorry similarly having played for both of these teams. And there are quite a number of players across the past several years that have played for both of these teams. Particularly the prolific Braden Man, scorer of many a goal for both of these sides. Free kick here for the Devonport Strikers. Colin Innes stands over. Devonport Strikers one up already through an early goal from Dylan D'Agostino. Can they double their lead here? Driven in, Barton rises highest, it comes to the back post to Mulroney, he cuts it back and this time he lets it run. A corner for the Devonport Strikers. Just inside the first 10 minutes here still. Ralph Reynolds to take this one. Some tall timber in the box here. The Strikers between Barton and Mulroney. And that corner probably not what Reynolds had in mind. And it's cleared away though by Gorry and he'll get another chance. Crowd has steadily been gathering at Valley Road here throughout the day. A good crowd in. To watch Tasmanian football at its best. Reynolds towards the back post, this one. A bit flighty, punched by O'Connell only as far as the top of the 18. Bidwell spins, drives with his left foot, palmed away. D'Agostino with another chance. It's going to be a goal kick. D'Agostino appealing that maybe his attempted shot was deflected off Kukubo, but Bidwell managed to spin away from his defender and shooting his left foot. He didn't really get hold of the strike, but he did force a save out of O'Connell and goals, whose left hand down low wasn't enough to put the ball out of danger and required either a skewed shot or a block there to see the ball behind and out of play. Good tempo to this one at Valley Road early. This one's short. And the Devonport Strikers, that pass out to the right back seems to trigger the press. Last with Kemp. Barton bounces off a couple of ankles and out of play. Barton long, Bidwell again, being busy early. Bidwell with Gorry, drives towards the byline. He's going to have to come back, nowhere to go. And he wins a throw-in. Into Nomura. Nomura spins away from Gorry, gets it into the box, no one home and eventually cleared away. Much of this first 10 minutes played in Devonport Strikers attacking half, but a press is on here from Morton. Park goes longer into the corner for War towards D'Agostino. Here's Kokubo for company. And lines and points for another corner for the Devonport Strikers. So the goal buoying the Devonport Strikers, and they've been on top. They do say only 3% of corners, 3 out of every 100 result in a goal directly. Will this be one of them? It's in, it's headed down. It's not cleared convincingly again by South Hobart, and not for the first time. Reynolds back to last. Squares to Park. He goes more direct up towards Sturzica. Can't keep it in play. It'll be a throw in for South Hobart. Innes was in a little bit of space. Opted not to use him, Park. Throw in for Havainen. Brzezinski comes short, ignores that. Longer. Wonderful from Yost, trapped it on the outside of the foot and then spun away from his defender. Morton tries to get it back to Yost. No one home. Park back into the 11 this week for Devonport, back into the squad. Bidwell. And that off Bidwell. Hawaiian to take the throw again. Morton tries to tow around the corner, doesn't get the contact he would have liked. Bidwell opts not to play back when he had 3 choices back and played square to Sturziker instead. And then out off Sturziker once more, South Hobart throw. Max Clark on the sidelines for South Hobart, constantly giving directions to his team. Short to Berezanski, hooks it around the corner. Barton attacks. Sturziker. Rinse and repeat. Another South Hobart throw. So some early fractious moments. And the early goal is just a moment of calm as the ball spent probably more time out of play than in play the last 3 or 4 minutes. Once more we have a hold and play. Morton comes short to Berezanski, who'll look to switch through Lancaster. Gorry widest is the option. And he goes back the other way as the defence shifted across. They left Hawaiian in some space. Now he switches out to Gorry. Good from South Hobart. The run then from Oates. Barton with him. He opts to come all the way back to Lakaseljic. Back to Yost. Good probing from South Hobart. Gorry's an option. He'll swing it first time towards the penalty spot. Kemp rises. Eventually cleared away by Barton. Ennis and Kemp wrestle for it. Only cleared as far as Hawaiian and South now on top. Bit of a miscue from Hawaiian. Yost. To Morton. The evergreen. Fires towards the front post. Bundled down behind play by Reynolds, and a free kick given just on the edge of the 18-yard box. Not a bad position to deliver the ball into the box. Yeah, make no mistake, South will put some numbers in the box here. Namora and D'Agostino staying forward for the Devonport strikers. Splitting wide. Got Kubo and Lancaster go forward to add some height along with Morton. Gorry to deliver. Fired into the box, cleared away by the head of Barton. To the top of the box, hit by Oates, a deflection and a vicious spin, and then the ball came at the penalty spot to Lancaster. And as they would say, in a very old-fashioned way, a bit of a centre-half's finish, that one, as he blazed over, went back on the volley and never looked like challenging the Devonport goalkeeper, Curtis.
Come on, boys, come on.
So 1-0 lead to the Devonport Strikers, having scored just within about the first minute through D'Agostino. A long way to travel in this one. And throw a blanket over the players on the pitch here, all within one small portion of it. Last and Oates, high. And Oates penalised for the high boot. The tackle from Barton could similarly have been considered late. The official opting for the first of the infractions in that passage. Park. Innes. Mulroney. An odd clearance from Mulroney. He'll get it back though. He fires a left-footed pass out to last. And towed away by Lakaseljic to throw for the Devonport Strikers.
Just, come on. Stay tight. Like a straight.
Long from Barton. Namora bounces off them, eventually comes down, and Lancaster heaves it clear. Right towards our commentary position. Barton long again, using his body there, Namora, just to push Gorry behind the ball, and a lovely spin from Namora, and he plays it off the head there, and the official's going to have to stop play as he's hit one just behind the ear and the temple, which is never ideal. He is sitting up though, which is a good sign. Lancaster, he's back up on his feet. Was struck from close range, but a lovely turn from Namora away from his defender there. And if he can find those pockets of space, Namora, he will cause trouble for South Hobart today. And just getting some attention there in the modern game. Certainly make sure these medical checks are done well. He's just doing a bit of a concussion test there. The players come to retrieve some drinks, hydrate. It is for this time of year on the northwest coast of Tasmania, a relatively warm day. Not much breeze to speak of. Perfect football conditions. O'Connell having a chat there to Copra, the official. I wonder if he's asking why Bidwell didn't receive a booking for his earlier challenge on him. So Lancaster's going to have to start off the pitch here. He will eventually be invited back in to play by Copra, but he'll have to wait a moment. So temporarily 10 men on the field for South Hobart.
Good.
Alright, so Lancaster back on. Once again we get this kind of cat and mouse where South Hobart attempting to draw the Devonport Strikers players onto them, or until they can wait for a run and unleash a longer ball. In this case the ball's just played a little bit behind Oates. Devonport Strikers win possession last, back to Barton. And flicked out of play by Bidwell. So we'll play about 3 added minutes, I would think, in this first half after that break, just to have Lancaster assessed. Barton strong in. Namora with Lancaster. Now Bidwell. Towed away. Reynolds steps in. He clips it forward, but O'Connell's probably best place to pick that one up, and Lancaster gets his body in between Bidwell and O'Connell. Long throw out to Havinen. Yes, plenty of grass in front of him and he takes it up. A heavy touch though allows Durziger to pinch the ball. D'Agostino, Innes. Doesn't like anything he sees forwards, it has to come backwards. Park similarly, nearly caught in possession. Does get it away to Innes. All a bit too intricate for Devonport there. Reynolds to D'Agostino, back to Park. And eventually bounced off Yost. Long over the head, D'Agostino. Kokubo, he'll come back to O'Connell, and the press is on. Bidwell. D'Agostino, Kokubo just keeping hold of possession there. He comes up the line then towards Morton. Mulroney gives him a bit of a push, but he does get it to Kemp, who rolls it out to Gorry. Driving forward, Gorry. He plays it to the feet of Oates. He lays it back to Gorry first time. Left-footed ball to the back post. Morton best placed, and his header over the bar. Hobart looking dangerous when they can win that ball and play through Devonport strikers and get it into those good positions around the 18-yard box. The dangerous deliveries from Gorry. Bidwell. Reynolds. Barton. Gorry. Towed away by Last. And the Moore involved. Last comes back then. And Barton's ball over the top to Nomura. Doesn't find him, only finding the touchline. So football in Tasmania at its zenith here. Two of its best sides on one of its best days. Playing some free-flowing football. Speaking of free-flowing, here's Morton. He rolls the ball beautifully to earn some space away from Innes, but his pass didn't find its target. Park. Looks long. And then giving it back to South Hobart. So South possession. Tulaka-Seljak. South can play their way through or draw the Devonport press. Find that trigger. O'Connell allowed to roll forward and then getting it longer again. Cat and mouse out of that South Hobart defence continuing. Gorry fires the pass in to Yost. Touch a little heavy. Cleared away by Park. Finds Nomura, who spins away. Doesn't take the ball with him though. And Gorry clears. It's going to be picked up by Curtis though. And despite Curtis's call for the ball, Mulroney clears it. He probably wanted a more definitive call, Mulroney, from his goalkeeper. So Mulroney took care of it himself. Reynolds and Innes work it out between them. They get it out to Sturzica. Reynolds, Nomura. Come off the South Hobart toe there in Yost, but didn't go out of play anyway. So Sturzica drives it in towards D'Agostino, already on the score sheet, and cleared over the new stand by Kokubo. Again, the match managers giving a bit of extra work to do. Park directly into the box to Bidwell, who brings it down. Had two on his back, allowed to turn. Then to Last. Last turns away from the option of Bidwell more directly, and then couldn't get it under control there. Good Reynolds. Frustrated at himself. And then the spectacular attempted. But Curtis never likely to be beaten from that distance. Lancaster. Gorry. Innes. The import. Mulroney to Park. Park to Sturzica. Bidwell. Already provided one today. Can he find a delivery for a second? He tries a nutmeg seemingly on Kokubo. Doesn't come off as Reynolds slips again and is beaten by Morton. A chance for South to go forward, but Morton is the furthest player forward, so he has to slow play down. And now he's tackled by Barton. Just needed some support there earlier, Morton. Gorry goes all the way back to his keeper. The press now on. D'Agostino goes first, followed by Innes. South Hobart will get away with that though. Now Vinan again with some grass in front of him. Gorry inverting here. He stepped into midfield. It's the regular tactic in modern football. The fullbacks can step into midfield. Gorry has stepped in and is remaining there at present. Devonport to Morton. Headed away by Mulroney. The 2-8s at it. Oof. The ball, Bidwell taking on 3. Never likely to beat all of them. Gorry. Inside to Lakaseljuk. To Gorry, who's delivered a few times from this position. Chooses not to on this occasion. He's going to have to come back. To Brzezinski. Morton peels off, looking to get it short. Brzezinski doesn't use that option. Instead he goes wider to Gorry. On the touchline now, the chance to deliver for Lakaseljuk if he wants. He gets it into the feet of Kemp, who dummies for Morton. That's lovely football, but desperate defending from Kieran Mulroney. Sees that one put behind for a corner ball, but a delightful idea by Kemp there to step over that one, allow it to come to Morton, who perhaps, if he'd taken it first time, could have got the shot away, but at such close range was the dummy from Kemp that he probably couldn't read that that was coming. And just enough time then it was allowed for Mulroney to steal in and poke that one away and out of play. Gorry towards the penalty spot, headed by Brzezinski. Not the tallest man on the field, but attacked the ball with pace. And headed that one harmlessly wide of the goal. Both of these sides formationally fluid at times. Last for Devonport being asked to do a lot of the shifting around. Yes, a chance to find a pass. He chooses to go wider out to an overlapping Sturzica, but perhaps the option was to be more direct towards D'Agostino and Nomura. Speaking of direct, this one up towards Morton, as Morton and Mulroney wrestle. Bodies everywhere, no whistle. Brzezinski, and as far as Barton, Bidwell a chance to turn. Gets to the feet of Nomura. A lovely ball out to D'Agostino. He's got Kakubo for company. Can he find another shot and another goal? He strikes. Got himself into a decent position, but never got hold of that one. D'Agostino has scored some very important goals for Devonport this season, but not on that occasion. Bidwell tries to get a toe in on Lakaseljuk. Out then towards Savinen. Morton. Good open game, this one. Brzezinski switches to Gorry. Gorry has the host down the line. He tries to take on last, gets past him. Kemp. Oates. Ball tickled in towards Morton, but Curtis off his line quickly. And some critical feedback from Coach Tom Ballantyne there to keeper Curtis, calling out 2v2. I think you feel that D'Agostino and Nomura were left 2-on-2 at the back, and if he played it directly more quickly, there was a chance of better odds for the Devonport forwards. Mulroney penalised there, running into the back of Kemp. Free kick to South Hobart. As I mentioned, no two teams have their names on the NPL trophy more frequently since the State League's reinception than these two. And they fight it out here today. Gorry into the box, cleared away by Barton, as he so often does. And that one nearly fell to Morton again. And he had to do a bit of a swivel and try and contact the ball as it was bobbling around, a difficult skill, and he couldn't get a boot to ball. Kemp back down to Oates, impressed by Nomura, so he goes back, and Devonport won't press the keeper. They will. Nomura comes. And Kubo going for a long switch. Oates has last for company. Comes to Lucasell. Jackie's given possession up to Bidwell, though the pass did him no favours. Bidwell has last back. Last. He'll come back to Barton. And Barton couldn't get his pass right. There was a little gap there. Nomura had made a good run, but pass not the required weight to find Nomura. Lancaster to Gorry. Morton, tackled by Bidwell. Reynolds goes over a little theatrically. Earns a free kick. In the kind of position where you favour a direct ball into the box here. Sturzica comes across from the other wing to take this one. Curling in towards the penalty spot, this one. He started too close to the keeper and was always favoured there, O'Connell. And space for Berezanski to turn, no pressure. Rolls it out to Havainen. He has Morton wider, uses him. And then back to Havainen. Good position for South Hobart into the box. An attempted flick from Kemp. It was just behind him, so he couldn't really do much more than try that flick. And it ended up with Curtis. Gorry. Lovely weight on that little outside of the right foot whilst bobbling to find his teammate. And Sturzica away with this one. Devonport a chance to counter. They do go quickly. Lancaster and Nomura one-on-one there. Lancaster stepping in front of the Devonport forward. Mulroney heads into midfield. D'Agostino backs into Kakubo. Height winning out there for Kakubo. And once again the switch on continuously here for South Hobart, seemingly to Gorry. Gorry inside to Kemp. Oh, strong from Mulroney. Claim that he got the ball from the official. So play allowed to come on. Gorry, Kemp last. Reynolds, touch. Not quite right there, but does end up with Mulroney. Out to Sturzica. D'Agostino down to Innes. And last providing some width then. Last has Reynolds inside, uses him. Back to last, into Nomura. Then back to Reynolds. And Morton does well. A flying tackle from Reynolds penalised. He didn't make contact, so the official choosing not to opt for a card. But Reynolds lunged there late. South Hobart players less than pleased with the official's decision not to book Reynolds there for the late lunge. This game's moved very quickly. You're already up to inside the last 10 minutes. Despite not a whole heap of goalmouth action and tremendous saves, intensity has been so high that this game has flown past. Barton, Park, down to Bidwell, to Innes, back to Sturzica, Park, stepping into midfield, no one coming towards him, so takes up space, forced to go back. Sturzica, D'Agostino, Sturzica. The switch might have to chooses to go up the line and then put out a play by Lucasell Jack. Down to Innes. Park. Mulroney, rather agriculturally choosing not to trap that one and instead hit it first time and it's out of play and up into the new stand.
Get up! Get up!
Park up and away. D'Agostino and Kukubo battle, grabbing each other. D'Agostino winning in the air. Bidwell. Sturzica. Out of play by Kukubo. A bit of an arm wrestle here then at the moment. Innes. And the switch finally for the Devonport strikers. Barton last providing the width. That's where it will go. There's the vacant space. Will anyone make a run into it? Bidwell comes toward the ball. Gets it to Nomura, who cuts inside. Can he finish? His driven ball low is saved well by O'Connell. Nomura got into a great position and he touched it delicately around his defender. But the all-important part, the finish, wasn't quite there. He did force the save out of O'Connell, but... And Bidwell perhaps playing the wrong sport there. But hip and shoulder to Oates as he went past. A full disquisition happening out on pitch. Nobody happy with anything that Brenton Cropper's doing, but unfortunately that's the lot of the official. As we tick towards the final moments of the first 45 of regulation, there will be a bit of added time after the attention given to Lancaster early. Check for concussion. Mulroney pinches away from Morton. Points level in that contest so far. Bidwell up the lines and Nomura, beautiful weight on that pass. Nomura, Bidwell and Lancaster to beat. And probably should have taken the time to steady there Nomura before delivering that pass, and Innes disappointed with the delivery. Gorry stepping in, driving forward, and then a very, very cynical foul from Toby Barton. And Gorry right up in his space, and it all gets fractious here at Valley Road. The plays in, pushing, shoving between the two captains, Morton and Mulroney. Cropper needs to get things under control here before things get out of control, though I think it's a bit of pantomime perhaps from a few of the players. And Brenton Cropper has decided not to book Toby Barton for that challenge. I would say that's a generous decision from Brenton Cropper. Can South Hobart have their revenge though here? Bidwell, lovely shape to that ball into the box. And away, Reynolds up the line. D'Agostino's come off his man to pick that one up. Havina does well. D'Agostino clatters back in and tempers Flair again at Valley Road. You can tell what this game means to the players and the staff. And there is a booking. I think Connor Park picks up the booking there, or maybe Mulroney for his remonstrations. Not 100% sure on that one. Either way, for a defender with another 45 to play, being in The official's book with the yellow card. A slice of cheese is not ideal territory. And space for Havainen. Sturzica shuts him down though, stopping the early delivery. He does get the delivery in. Oh, it's over the back of the defence. Oates then with last. Namura's tracked all the way back and he forces Bidwell, forces Gorry to put it out of play. We tick towards the final minute then of this first half. As I said, there will be a little bit of added time. 1-0 the Devonport Strikers lead. The early goal in the first minute as Bidwell drove down the left after a flick from Namura and delivered to the back post, where D'Agostino tapped home from the closest of ranges. That is the difference between the two sides at the moment. And what really has been an intense contest. Tempers have flared at times. There's been some free-flying football at other times. A goal-mouth scramble or two. Just about everything you could want in a game of football. At the highest level you can in Tasmania. And to the uninitiated for Tasmanian football, these are two of our most historic and very best teams. Mulroney to Barton, then to Last, the youngster. He tries to get away from a few and somehow manages to hold on to it. The ball bobbles around and eventually comes off Bidwell and back to Barton. And Morton in there, he picks it up, thinks it's his throw. Has to give it up. Into added time. Long from Barton. Gorry. Goes short to Lakaseljak, who heaves it forward, more hopeful than deliberate. Morton to Havainen, who's shown some good attacking talent in those forays forward down the left wing. A skewed switch there has given the ball to Namura in a dangerous position. Here's Lancaster one-on-one. Gorry flying back, and Lancaster does fantastically. Lancaster put in a terrible position by his midfield teammate, forcing to backtrack. But as Namura tried to dance past him, he stepped in and towed the ball away. Excellent defending. And that's what you want from your defenders when they're called in those moments like that they respond. And the answer was given, a definitive answer by Lancaster. Havainen driving it forward again. Bidwell deemed to have impeded on that particular occasion. Lakaseljak. Gorry finding so much space. Oates tries to get it back to Gorry, and then another free kick as Gorry, not with a play on the ball, bundles Mulroney over as Mulroney tried to clear. In the final minute or two here of added time, I think 3 or so added minutes make sense given the pause we had. And I think Ballantyne's going to be happy to get in with a 1-0 lead. This is where Ballantine and Clark will earn their keep at this half-time break. What formational shifts can they make? Personnel changes, motivational speeches can they give that are going to inspire their sides to victory in this second half? D'Agostino inside, Innes, Sturzica, Park. It's a bit well. Lovely touch inside D'Agostino. Is there a late twist in the tail this first half? No, there is not. Cleared away by Lancaster. Park. Bidwell. Reynolds. Headed away by Lakaseljak. Then last. Tasked with stepping into midfield and then shifting out to left back when it's his turn. Sturzica similarly tasked on the other side for Devonport. Mulroney and Morton. Mulroney again winning that contest. Barton will see that one out of play, and that might do us for this first half. They were late to go on. Long throw. Bidwell chest down. Towed away from him. Barton up again. And Copper's whistle brings an end to the first half here at Valley Road in this round 7 fixture of NPL Football Tasmania.
Now touring at Macca's, the new Tennessee barbecue range. With smoky barbecue and honey mustard sauce, crispy onions, and 100% Aussie beef. But only on tour for a limited time.
About the first minute of that first half. All to play for in the second half as the ladder leaders South Hope.
Now touring at Macca's, the new Tennessee barbecue range. With smoky barbecue and honey mustard sauce, crispy onions, and 100% Aussie beef. But only on tour for a limited time.
Sunset Sharks nil at half time, and at half time we'll be also touring the raffle, our home game raffle, kindly donated by Carl Red from O'Neill Place Bar. That will take place at half time.
Now touring at Macca's, the new Tennessee barbecue range. With smoky barbecue and honey mustard sauce, crispy onions, and 100% Aussie beef. But only on tour for a limited time.
Clear retaliation because he was going like 2 minutes before the umpire, like it happened the other way around or something, and so he did it in retaliation. And then he didn't get a card.
It was cynical. Definition. Yeah. That's for South already. He's one of the nice and close through.
The thing with like aggression is like if you're in contention for those championships in the country, some prove that it's not the right and take it out.
Yeah.
You're almost guaranteed to win the championship, and you're all very close to it. So, yes, aggression is cool and sometimes leadership. Oh, someone comes up today, mate.
Yeah.
So, like, if this is the... This is the problem.
Nah. 7 rounds into the 21-round season.
This is the biggest game or something?
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, these are two of the best teams. Yeah, no, I'd lost or win either way for these two teams.
And lucky ticket to a home game raffle, kindly donated once again by our WSL sponsor, Pacebar. And the winning ticket belongs to Terry Cruden. Terry, you can collect your prize from inside the club rooms. The winner of our game day raffle today is Terry Cruden.
Maybe not so much here because of that thing, but there's other places where you get up to the school. Just I like to have. I wonder if I got a photo of.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they can mess around and just do that with it.
Yeah.
Like what? I guess that's like the
Yeah, so you can see the numbers.
yeah. But then so it's stuff on their desk. Make it look like these.
You're going to be pretty good.
Oh, man.
Remembering all the numbers and colours.
I don't know. I think it'd be a tough day, isn't it?
Yeah, they're the easy ones. It's like the Melbourne Cup where you got like the Melbourne.
But just say the ones that go
Might do them this time.
I feel compelled.
like the
Might
boat.
do South Hobart this time.
But that's just but they're not going to talk about like a global law.
No.
I have heard. Fourth one.
Alright.
But yeah, you've probably got a harder here with more people.
Yes.
Especially you guys have numbers, how
No, but by this stage.
well, most likely something similar. That'd be a bit hard. I've seen that have one too. They only literally worry about the next run. They only do like 5 minutes. They just like they go over them and they just compete. I reckon I could block my way through the water. You just basically say the overstages and then care about the point. There's a rule, I think they can only get subbed on once. Once you get subbed on. Yeah.
Something to change like footy week. I'm just thinking that women's game where got subbed on. 15 minutes later, you got subbed on.
Yeah, well, I just. I forgot any of them. That's probably one thing we can buy, but the other one, like, last 3 minutes or whatever, got subbed on. I would hate to travel from Hobart and stuff like that.
That's the worst. I don't want to be out to going down the game.
You said minutes between.
You sit on the bench and you come off for 5 minutes.
When someone's injured before you can't replace them, like you have to sub because of something.
Yeah.
I don't really like that really. Is that a soccer thing or is this the NPL?
It's a soccer thing.
Sometimes you're tired. You just need that 5 minutes. Yeah, your best player gets gassed. You just need to go.
Normally the protocol is Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half of this round 7 NPL fixture in football Tasmania between the Devonport Strikers and South Hobart at Valley Road. The Devonport Strikers lead 1-0 through an early first minute goal from Dylan D'Agostino. It was a first half of great intensity. It was ornery at times as well. Fractious and physical. Without too many clear-cut chances created though. But as the players tire in the second half and the game opens up, what will we see? We know they played out a 7-goal thriller not too many weeks ago, and therefore there is potentially many more goals in this one. We have 45 minutes to find out who emerges victorious from this enormous fixture. Top of the table, South Hobart on 16 points. Third place, Devonport Strikers on 12 points. South Hobart undefeated this season. A loss today would be their first of the season. Can they avoid such a fate? Hess is a half-time substitute. For South Hobart. It looks like Hess has come on for Lancaster. Lancaster was checked for concussion in the first half, and perhaps he's got in at half-time, and between he and the medical staff they've decided that it's best if he's withdrawn. So Hess will now partner Kakubo at the back for South Hobart. And continue from the first half. Waiting their time to press the Devonport Strikers. Like a Seljack. Fires that one out towards Yost. Yost with D'Agostino. He comes back to Lakaselja. Into Berezanski. He turns the corner. Tries to fire a pass into Oates. Doesn't get it to him. Bidwell then. Skips past Berezanski. Morton. Pulls at Bidwell. He's got 1-on-4 here, Bidwell. And does well to earn a throw from that. D'Agostino fending off Kakubo. Yost only as far as Sturzica. Ricochets off him into the path of Berezanski. Square to the substitute Hess. And once more back to O'Connell. Havanen. Morning. And Sturzica dumping Yost. Deemed a South Hobart throw. As it cools off here in the late afternoon on the northwest coast of Tasmania. Havanen allowed to run down the left. Cuts it back to Morton. Good start for South Hobart this to Yost. Innes tracking back well. Then to Park, who goes longer. Nomura checked his run to come back to feed, and so the pass favours Hess. Like a Seljack. Back to Gorrie, formerly of this parish. One of a number of players to have played for both Devonport and South Hobart. Ralph Reynolds, the Devonport Strikers, also having played for both of these teams. Players in the past such as Braden Mann and Callan Pask also having done so. Pinched then by Morton. He drives forward and he shoots from range. Never got hold of it. A very ambitious strike, and then gets the mock cheers from the crowd. Curtis. Very direct. D'Agostino jumps. Bidwell with Berezanski. Bidwell in a good position to deliver. He takes a touch, gets to the byline, chops it back. Can deliver on the left if he chooses. He cuts it to Innes. His touch is heavy. Nomura flicks to Innes. A chance to shoot. And delivered home by Innes. The American driving the Devonport and doubling their lead. And like lightning through a stormy sky he strikes, and the net rippled with the poetry of purpose, and the crowd erupted. Witness to a magical moment for the Devonport Strikers. 2-0 they lead over ladder leaders South Hobart. And it will take some second half from South Hobart to not only close the gap, but to keep their winning ways. And again, early in the half, this time within the first 5 minutes, South Hobart have conceded. As the lights come on at Valley Road, as the sun dips away behind the horizon. Hess looking longer towards Yost, intercepted. And then Bidwell grabbing Gorry. And he's getting a word from Copra. No yellow card on that occasion. It might have been harsh, a yellow card there to Bidwell, unless it was for an accumulation of fouls, which has probably accumulated. Gorry cleared away by Barton. Not the first nor last time, I'll say that. Lovely touch. Bidwell flies into the tackle, and a good little shot there from Kemp, who on a small backlift managed to manufacture a strike that troubled Curtis. Curtis equal to it and fended it away. Fortunately for him, no South Hobart players were in the premises where the ball was deflected to. So 2-0 to the Devonport Strikers. Maybe questions about an offside on that goal. Proof will be on the tape for revision, however. Hess. Back to O'Connell. O'Connell straight. This has been a theme. The Devonport Strikers have just sat off South Hobart, at least initially, as they try to play out. And O'Connell takes it forward, and then wide wingers try the runs in behind the defence, and O'Connell tries to pierce that defensive line with that longer ball. It hasn't worked as yet, but maybe that's a bit of a tic-tac-toe victory thus far, at least in that part of the game. As D'Agostino drives forward, could it be 3 for Devonport? It comes to Namura. He touches inside, and he inexplicably misses from the closest of ranges when it was easiest to drive it anywhere. He attempted just to flick it past O'Connell, and it would have been an unassailable lead for the Devonport Strikers had Namura just showed a touch more composure. The initial touch was fantastic, which gave him the space and time to pick his place. And nearly inexcusably, he doesn't finish on that occasion. And the door remains ajar for South Hobart.
That's your ball, Utah!
D'Agostino and Innes, the scorers for Devonport Strikers so far. South Hobart have not been kept scoreless this season, though. Yet scoreless they remain here. Plenty of football left. Namura hungry to make up for that miss. Morton Chest stand well at the edge of the area. Tackled by 2 Devonport players, though, and now Devonport look to move forward quickly. A great run from the midfield from Innes. Kokubo cleared without purpose to Reynolds. Always looks very comfortable. Reynolds never hurried. Barton. Out to Winners, the goal scorer. Drifts inside. Overlap from last. Namura Comes close to him. It's going to be a corner for the Devonport Strikers. Reynolds over to take this one. As we draw breath for a moment at Valley Road. Ball in from Reynolds. Cleared away by Hess, the substitute then to Namora. Reynolds bends another one in this one. Directly at O'Connell and a chance to play Morton early, and he rolls it out to him. Morton within us. Morton now with Bidwell. Good pass inside, an attempted 1-2 there with Yost, and it gets back to Morton. And they've moved the ball quickly from one end to the other here. South Hobart chops inside Morton, but one player too many eventually gets over to put him out of his misery. Lovely from Hawaiian there as he skipped past D'Agostino, but his pass inside didn't quite find its target, nor did that attempted pass forward from Innes. Gorry. Longer out to Yost. Park. And he'll do enough. Curtis. As I mentioned at the start of the game, the Devonport Strikers with the best defence in the league this season, having only conceded 4. South Hobart, after the 2 conceded today, have now conceded 8. And Namora will now be withdrawn. He missed the chance to put the Devonport Strikers 3-0 up. But he's replaced by Declan Zazadny. So he'll get plenty of time here, Zazadny, to make his impact on the game. Some 30 plus minutes. Long up the line from Park. And touched out by Kemp. It'll be a Devonport Strikers throw further down the line. Inching their way forward, rugby style. Sturzica fires that one to the feet of Sazani. He tries to flick in behind to Bidwell. Misses the ball though. Reynolds to Sturzica. Takes it to the byline, attempts to deliver. Hawaiian strong in the tackle. And a delicate dink up towards his captain, Morton. And once again, he's tackled by a number of Devonport players. Left alone on an island. Sturzica rolling towards D'Agostino. O'Connell and Kokubo both reading that well. Kokubo stepping over and allowing O'Connell to pick it up. Gorry then has found joy down in the right wing, and on that occasion couldn't find his teammate Kemp. He's been well held today. Last, Innes, goal scorer. Can he add to his tally? Good tackle from Berezanski. And then fired early towards Morton. He's got Park. He cuts inside Park. He's got Mulroney to beat as well. And now he's got Sturzica and Barton to beat. He does get it out towards Kemp, who I said a moment ago has been well held in a dangerous position there. He couldn't find a way through the wall that Devonport had put back in front of him. Sazadny. He's 1 on 2, and wow, he does well. Holds the ball up, waits for support. Beautifully done from the target man. No more can you ask. Bidwell, Barton. Looks like we're moments away from a substitution for South Hobart. Maddock and Walter, players you'd expect to see this afternoon for them. Towed out towards Sturzica, who's longer ball and behind to Bidwell, doesn't find him. Zazadny does well though, who gets across. Ill directed. This is pass. Kokubo. Forced to switch long. Last at notes clash, and it's going to go out of play, which might allow time for a South Hobart substitute. Not yet. Barton. Mulroney. Sturzica stepping into midfield. And high boot potential there from Yost. Barton, though, will track back. Yost, can he find the delivery? It's only Morton in the box at the moment. Oates arrives. Top of the box to Kemp. A sliding tackle from Reynolds does enough. And Bidwell falls over. Earns a free kick.
Fucking sort out!
Reynolds. Innes. D'Agostino probably in an offside position there, and the linesman raises his flag. Referee doesn't blow the whistle. South Hobart have possession. Some 15 minutes played here onto the hour mark. 2-0 the Devonport Strikers lead. The top of the table and thus far undefeated South Hobart. It will certainly shake up the title race and give Launceston City a chance to go level on top. Heights perhaps Launceston City haven't seen in some time in football Tasmania, and they also have a great chance, Launceston City, of making it to a cup final, potentially against South Hobart. Maddock onto the pitch, and Walter onto the pitch. As Oates exits play, as does Lakaseljak. So Walter and Maddock onto the pitch, Oates and Lakaseljak off, as both managers begin to show their hands with their substitutions. More cards are in play, and a not terribly auspicious start for Walter. Headed away, only as far as Bidwell, Zasadny. And a very, very ambitious strike from Zasadny, particularly when under pressure from some 40 yards. Unsurprisingly, doesn't trouble O'Connell in goal. Kubo. And the press on now. Havana's touch a bit heavy, puts himself in trouble, and can really only put that one out of play as he clears it. Park. Long. Yost. Back down to Kukubo. Kind of gives the universal hand signal for that, slow it down. And they do just that. Violent. Back to Kukubo. And the switch on, perhaps out to Maddock. Doesn't go in that direction. Comes back to Hess. The switch on to Havinen. Zasadny having to shuffle across. Kubo. Switch might be on again. O'Connell then. This might be where they go more direct. No. South Hobart being patient. Havinen. Now they go longer. Good running behind from Walter. He traps it well. Reynolds steps over. Gets the delivery into the box. Towed away. Ball deemed not to have crossed the goal line, so it will only just be a throw here for South Hobart as they look to build their way back into this one. 2-0 they trail. Walter and Havinen not on the same wavelength. Walter looking to play it back to Havinen while Havinen was looking to come around. Walter. Park over the head of Sturzica. Over the head of Berezanski and past Havinen and Zasadny eventually. It's to Kemp. Composed in his pass wide to Havinen and small South Hobart. That's a good ball, a good quick ball, and now they can transition South Hobart. So much of football is transitional, and can you make it count when you do have your opponent in transition? And Walter penalised for handball. Longman. Headed away. Reynolds. Bidwell. Park. Good vision to see Last out for the pass. Last and Maddock. And it's a tackle. Maybe it was 50-50. Wrestling with each other. Some Greco-Roman style. But Last is the one who might have the last laugh as he drives forward. Just pass through. Not quite the pass required. Reynolds. This man on his back gets it to Last all the way back to Barton. Switch will be on here for Devonport. Mulroney instead chooses to come back into Reynolds, whose touch is heavy. And Barton's first time ball. Devonport strikers leave. Gorry to retrieve. Hess. He has Havainen. Uses him. Good touch in front of him allows him to then carry the ball with pace out towards Yost. Yost then with Sturzica for company. He delivers into the face of Sturzica, who shakes his head. Kakubo. Gorry. And once again, South to see if they can work out penetrate this Devonport strikers' defence. This time deeper within Devonport strikers' half, and he's picked it up in a gap, little half space here, Yost, but he's left it behind. Yost. And then a flying tackle from Yost. Upends both Gorry and Innes. Free kick to Devonport. Innes plays early. A lovely pass out to Zazadny, but there's only D'Agostino in the box. They're going to have to do it themselves if they want to create something here. A step over, a jig, a step. It's Innes at the top of the box. Could have struck it first time. Might have been his best option given the numbers, and D'Agostino penalised for coming behind and trying to pinch the ball away. Kavainen, back to Kakubo. Kakubo longer this occasion. Would take some measured pass to get us through the Devonport strikers' defence there from range, deep as the ball, deep as the defence were. And O'Connell forced to use his head and does so very composed for the goalkeeper. Then out to Havainen, inside to Morton. Then Yost. Whereas Park, he gets it to the top of the box to Havainen, whose shot ricochets off the Devonport defence, and then Park slips as he clears, only as far as Berezanski. Repeat entries here for South Hobart. Into the Devonport forward line. Gorry shoots from distance, and it's a goal for South Hobart. His shot from 35 yards bounced in front of Curtis, who didn't deal with what really wasn't a goal that, or a strike that should have troubled him. And Adam Gorry, the prodigal son, returns and drives a dagger through the heart of the Devonport striker's goal as Curtis left a little red face as the bobbling ball bounced its way into the back of the net. And all of a sudden, South Hobart are back into this game, and sometimes in games like this, it can just be those little moments that it takes one error to invite your opposition back in. And there is plenty of time to travel in this for South Hobart to not only draw level, but to go ahead. And all of a sudden, Nomura's glaring miss takes on greater shape. Pain on for the Devonport strikers. Innes into the back post, no one home. So pain on for D'Agostino for the Devonport strikers. Gorry inverting. That's what fullbacks want to do. Payne perhaps needed the long stops there. He's going to win this one, Payne. Nearly does, and still does. And a hustle and a chase from Payne. He's penalised, but his teammates appreciate the effort. Berzanski to Hest. The chess match continues between Clark. And last spins around, grabs at Gorry. Free kick. Ball forward to Zadney, doesn't find him. Kakubo there to tidy up. He's been very composed at the back for South Hobart. Gorry. Hess.
Good time. Good timing. Go.
O'Connell.
Recent
Let's go. Shoulders.
D'Agostino came off, and number 18.
About 20 minutes left in this round 7 fixture of NPL Tasmania. 2-1 the score. The Devonport Strikers lead through early goals in both halves. One to D'Agostino, one to Ennis. But beyond the hour mark, a long-range goal from Adam Gorry, which should have been dealt by Devonport goalkeeper Noah Curtis, found its way into the back of the net. And it will be a tension-filled and perhaps fractious, as it has been at times here at Valley Road. Final 20. Some goals and some substitutions should see at least playing 3 minutes at a time. South Hobart seem to be preparing another substitution here. Barton fires it forward. Off Matic, out of play. Fired him from Barton. Terrific ball into the feet of Zadney. A tremendous back heel to Bidwell, who's in the 18-yard box. Is this the moment for Devonport? Bidwell pauses and halts and waits. Then to Zadney. Sturzica further across. Doesn't use him. Attempts to shoot. And now South Hobart on the counter-attack through Morton. Sturzica attempting to get to him, but Morton puts it behind Yost. Bidwell couldn't bring that one under his spell, and Gorry comes back to O'Connell. Payne presses, and O'Connell calm. Kakubo and then Havainen. Payne being asked to use energy. Morton. Park. Yost. Can he get it across the box? He does. Not quite there for South Hobart, but they're knocking on the door, and Kakubo's pass skewed a little and spun away from Gorry. And Devonport Strikers throw. Ex-Devonport Strikers president, Rod Andrews, retrieves the ball. And the substitution, Austin Yost, after his shift, exits the field of play. And Eli Wright. Wright started the game between the Devonport Strikers and South Hobart in the Lacquer Cup quarter-final a few weeks back. Off the bench here.
A little bit further this way, just so you got both. Rough.
Momentary quiet around Valley Road. With the dynamic in these games, they say 2-0 is the most dangerous score in football. Perhaps it could prove that today. I'm sure if the Devonport players and fans, perhaps more accurately, would happily wish away the next 15-20 minutes of play to keep the result as it were. South Hobart on the opposite end of the spectrum wish to keep playing Till they can claw themselves back into this one. Reynolds to Innes, and now numbers here for South Hobart as they look to a counter-attack. It's going to be about 4-on-4. The ball out to Maddock. He's forced to just track sideways a little to retrieve it, but the numbers are still good for South. The ball in to Walter, not offside, to Morton, and then it bounces off the upright and into the goals. And if there was one man, and if there was one goal, and if there was one moment, it was this man with that finish at this moment. And he celebrates in front of the Devonport players. Irrepressible, the veteran. And once more he has come up with the goods for South Hobart. And 2-2. Moments ago I said 2-0 is the most dangerous scoreline in football. Well, it's not a cliche for no reason. From 2-0 to 2-2. And South Hobart have set this one up for a pulsating finish. And Morton earns himself a yellow card for delaying the restart by tying his shoelace. It's a great cutback from Walter, which found Morton, and then the first time finish off the post and into the net. And it's just those little moments. And it's on again between the Devonport Strikers and South Hobart here. I said it's been ornery and fractious. I dare say Jordan Payne's going to earn himself a yellow card here for a late lunge. Yeah, some pushing and shoving. They're going to have to be very careful here, the Devonport and South Hobart players, lest they get themselves sent off for something silly. Payne goes into the book. And the players dissipate from their little huddle. We are set for a big finish at Valley Road. South Hobart have clawed themselves back into this one.
Toby, let's get the refs so we can get treatment. Return.
Hess eventually getting his way to his feet. The veteran and substitute. We are in for a thrilling final 15 here. Will South complete the comeback of all comebacks? Will Devonport rebound and put themselves back forward again, or are we set for a draw at Valley Road? A draw would keep South Hobart's undefeated streak in this season. Right, grabbing it, Sturzica. No whistle, just a goal kick. A veteran of many a Devonport South Hobart game. The official, Brendan Copwright. Long then from Curtis. Morton. Once again on the score sheet for South Hobart. Gorry to Maddock. Maddock's pass there, and Zadney then with a chance. Great toe in from Hess. Reynolds slips. Barton heads high. Zadney down to Innes in space. Can he pick a pass? It's a good pass out to Payne. Lovely weight on that from Innes. Payne does well to shield Kakubo. He rolls him, cuts to the penalty spot. It's a great ball. A terrific idea from Payne, but no one quite read his intentions, and South Hobart able to clear. Longer than from O'Connell. Sturzica, always favoured, heads away. Throw down to Morton. Rolls it into Walter Morton again. He's at the top of the box. He leaves it for Kemp, who drives it and seemed goalward bound, but for Barton, his timely interception and the deflection off him out for a corner. And every thrust forward from both of these sides now feels important. And certainly in the thrust of the league as it is, the result here today is important. A loss, or even this draw for South Hobart, brings the chasing pack closer into contact. A loss for Devonport sees them 7 points adrift to South Hobart as Gorry fired that one goalward off the thigh of Mulroney and out of play, but deemed to have been offside. In the final 10 minutes of this fixture, round 7. Been a beautiful afternoon in Valley Road. Some great football, men's and women's, female football week here. Time ticks away from us. And a thrilling contest this has been. Ill-tempered at times. But all of a sudden, Devonport in a great position as Kuku has copped it up. Bidwell gets it to Payne. He looks to cuck it to Zadney. Doesn't come to him. Bidwell now. A great tackle from Walter. Inner spins inside. He's at the top of the box. He cuts once. He cuts twice. He slips it to Zadney. Fancy feet. Can they get a shot away? They can't, the Devonport strikers. South had too many numbers back. It comes to Innes, who eventually fires a shot. Peels for handball. O'Connell gets across. It's all happening at Valley Road. And seemingly, as I said, every time one of these two teams go forward, it's just desperation. Both sides desperate for a winner to keep their seasons on track. Sturzica into the back of Vinen. Poked away, excellent from Sturzica. Bidwell, ever industrious. Innes, it's cut out by Camp. He can score from this range. He thunders it wide. Well, football like this you could watch all day. Unfortunately for us, there's less than 10 minutes left in regulation, and then we'll have added time. A few players have had attention. There's been a few stops so the players can push each other. So still plenty of time. And do we have a fitting finale here to this fixture? Always an awkward feeling and a draw. I think the neutral fan would love a goal to decide this contest. And obviously both sides on the pitch today would love a winner.
Ready! Just be ready!
Innes stands over this one. Delivers. O'Connell best placed. Eventually cleared away. Walter. And he just kicks it as far forward as he can. Didn't really have any options, and so he just takes up ground. And last leaves it for Barton. Seems both coaches have rolled their last die in terms of substitutions. Content to let the game play out now. Berezanski. Right. Vinen. Park and Morton. Mulroney. Berezanski. That will come all the way to Curtis. And Curtis preferring route one. Payne jumps with Hess. Over the head of both. Kakubo sweeping up behind. Walter not really timing his jump right there, and the ball hit him in the face. Last looking to play that one in behind to Zadney. Gorry. O'Connell. Do we have a grandstand finish at Valley Road? This game deserves a grandstand finish. Sturziker in hard, deflects to the top of the box to Walter, comes to Morton, who heads it down. Can he keep it in play? He does. Sturziker with him. Chops back on the left foot. Great bit of play from Morton. At the back post, Last does enough to flick it away. Maddock now. He drives to the byline. Great shove speed. Drives it into the box. Only bounces off Walter. Bidwell, the outside of the right, towards the Zadney, who goes down under his own shift of weight. Maddock again. And he goes over. Barden up towards the Zadney, who's back to his feet. He plays it into Payne. Is he offside? The linesman's flag goes up. Had he timed that better, he was into a dangerous position in behind. I don't think he would have been able to go at goal given where the width and where the ball was played, but South Hobart with it now. Final 5 of regulation before added time. Up the line. Park bigger and stronger. Corner awarded. Is this the final twist in the tail? Adam Gorry, goal scorer, over to take the corner. (2-0) they were, South Hobart behind. Can they come all the way back to take the lead? Off heads, Reynolds at the back post has to clear. Football's a funny game. And it turns on moments. Is there a final turn? Maddock. Innes. Bidwell to Innes. He's got one behind him. He just manages to keep it away. Right, sprinting out to Sturziker, who dinks it to Zadney. He's got Havina for company. Zadney wins out. Gets it to Innes. His little lifted ball, never really likely to find Zadney. And now it's Park and Morton wrestling. Flicks it to Wright. Wright touches it past Mulroney. Reynolds there to tidy up, plays it off right. It'll be a Devonport striker's throw. Zadney heads down to Bidwell. Bidwell can deliver to Zadney in the box. He chooses to come back to Innes, who touches back out to Bidwell. Then to Reynolds. He has Last further along. Uses him. Last. He gets it into the box, just out of the reach of Zadney. Zadney threw himself at it, a lunging effort, but even if he had made contact, it would have had to come off perfectly to trouble O'Connell in goals.
Keep going. Come on, that's good.
Time ticking away. In what has been a terrific occasion for Valley Road. Headed down by Havina to Wright. He skips away from Reynolds. Innes having to track back. Will he pull him down? He doesn't. Wright out to Maddock, cut out by Last. Barton puts it up and onto the roof of the new stand. Gorry. No love lost between these two sides today. Hess. Gorry inside to Maddock, gets it back, skips away from Bidwell, and then into Wright. He comes inside, he's going to shoot from range over the bar. So move towards the final minute of this 90.
Eli, we need to drop now, please. Keep going, Eli.
Vertical from Curtis. Payne to Zadney. Bounces back to Innes. Sturzica, he's got a chance to deliver. Not quite the delivery he was after. Tie players on the pitch now. Got to dig deep for another handful of minutes. These nervous players stand and watch. And coaches stand on the sidelines barking instructions. Stirs, plays it early. Enters Zadney. Square ball from Zadney to Bidwell. Probably a little ambitious. Now Gorry with the chance to launch an attack for South Hobart. Kemp has come deep to pick the ball up. Gets it again, squeezed by Innes. Full press on for the Devonport Strikers. There is plenty of space in behind for the other midfielders though because of Innes' press. And now they're away, South Hobart. Here's Wright, acres of space. Is this the moment? It is not. And he gets it badly wrong, Wright. Just at the moment he had grass in front of him, plays in the box, and he didn't carry it further forward, and his delivery didn't find the right direction, and it was harmless in the end. That might be our last foray as we tick into added time at Valley Road. Kakubo rises highest. Calmly done from Reynolds to last. These are the final chances that they have to make count. Good pass in there from Park there into the feet of Innes, and a free kick in for the Devonport Strikers. A very good chance to deliver one into the box as the Zadney, Mulroney, Park, Barton, Payne. They certainly have the tall timber to give South Hobart plenty of trouble. Can Innes get the delivery correct? Final moments of this game. Well and truly into added time. The whistle goes. Innes delivers. It favours O'Connell. And he catches. Makes no mistake. And Mulroney picks up a yellow card for trying to delay O'Connell getting on with the game. O'Connell has to drop the ball to the ground. Final moments. How much more time will we play? At least another minute, I'd have thought. Park down. Innes gets it to Zadney. Devonport with a chance. Payne arcing his run. And the pass is very, very heavy. And O'Connell's going to have to come and clear. He does very well to, instead of just thump it out of play, he spots Gorry and delicately passes it to him. And if a winner has to come, it has to come now for one of these two teams. Moments like these can decide seasons. Park gets it out of play. Time continuing to tick away here at Valley Road. Morton realises the urgency and just fires it first time. Zadney on his heels a little bit. Bidwell. Didn't put it in front of Innes. Tracked back by Walter. Kakubo. Direct. Park. He jumps down to right. Can he get delivery correct this time? He's got the ball. Asking him to use it. He does, and he goes back. Kakubo. They have to go direct here, South. There's just no time, and that's a great pass inside to Gorry. Gets it out to right, has to take his touch, clear his feet and get it in. He does that! And terrific headed clearance there. In a set of task by Bidwell. It's South who are driving here in the final moments. And Zadney does enough to get a toe in. Play still allowed to go on. We must be in the final moments. The check of the watch from Copra. How much more will he have? Hess, the substitute. He carries. Morton forward. Kemp in space. To Morton's feet. Tries to get it in. Sturzica steps in. Park. Reynolds favoured. Then Bidwell. Can they get it out here, Devonport? Innes is going to have to run it himself. He plays it to Payne. But O'Connell off his line. And the whistle brings an end to 90 minutes of ferocious football in this round 7 NPL fixture. 2-2 the final score. Both teams left deflated at the final whistle, and a deflating feeling a draw, but perhaps a fair result today. 2-0 the Devonport Strikers led. A very early goal in the first half from Dylan D'Agostino. Early in the second half, once more, the Devonport Strikers scored again through Colin Innes, their American import. Then a long-range strike from Gorrie got South Hobart back into the game. A goal that perhaps, in fact not perhaps, should have been dealt with by Curtis, who otherwise had a good game. And then Nick Morton, with a finish off the post, drew South Hobart level, and 2-2 it finished. There were chances at either end. Nomura with perhaps the best chance of the game for Devonport to put them 3-0 lead at one point. But they will have to share the spoils, 1 point each. At the top of the table, South Hobart will remain. Even if Launceston City win today, they will still be 1 point ahead. Devonport, however, could potentially drop to 4th on the table. It's all tight and terse here in Football Tasmania, and it was tight and terse at Valley Road today in this 2-2 game. A tremendous day's entertainment here at Valley Road, with the Devonport Strikers women's team victorious 2-1 over South Hobart, and a 2-2 draw here in the men's game. Both teams will reset and go again in future weeks. Devonport have a little break now till they have Riverside Olympic next in the league, and South Hobart have Riverside Olympic next in the semi-finals of the Lackaselja Cup. It's been a terrific day at Valley Road for this round 7 WSL and NPL set of fixtures. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage today. Football Tasmania. I've been Camille Douglas. We'll see you next time at Valley Road.
Couple one in there, please come.